Hello my friends and welcome to the next episode of the unofficial mimoLive tutorials. Today I'm gonna show you how easy it is to do a fabulous Let's Play stream. Everything that you can see here is not used in our project. It's just here that I'm able to show you how to make everything. Within the sources I have an input for my game video, then I have the me video or my video and the screen recording. Here at the layer stack there are two audio inputs, the game audio, my audio, and a temporary view. So what do we have at the outputs currently? The preview monitor, it's an SDI output, Blackmagic SDI output. It's the monitor directly in front of me, so I'm able to see what you will see. And here I have the live stream to Facebook, and this is a record to disk that I'm able to cut it later for YouTube. So what do we need for a Let's Play stream? First of all, we need the game video. So I add here at the layer stack with the plus button a so-called PIP layer. Here I have several because I modded some, but you will just have one. So choose your PIP layer by dragging and dropping it into the document, and you will get something like this in the preview. Yeah, and then you can bring it to the size you want. Yes, I bring it to full screen. By the way, the A is representing the video which will be shown later. But before I do anything else here, I give it a name. And here I drag and drop my game video directly onto the layer. So here is the game video in the preview. Yes, as you can see, there is Mario and my screen text is in German, yes. But this is not necessary. And this audio I turn off. I do it because I strongly recommend to separate audio from video. It's much easier to implement audio when you do not have on every layer the same audio. Yes. Okay, so I turn it off and I name this to full screen. So when I turn it on, I have it in full screen. The next step is to have my video on top of it. I call it video JO. It's because of Johannes. Johannes is my first name. And I do the same thing because I also want to have a full screen view. So this was the game video. Here we have the me video. Okay, so now I enlarge it to full screen. Okay, so FS. Okay, so here is my video in full screen. Okay, so, and the next thing is that I turn the audio off again here, because I have it separated here and it's easier to fiddle around with audio when you don't have 30 layers with the same audio. Okay, so okay, then it's turned off. So now what can we do? I add a new variant of this layer. So I press here the plus button to get here a new view, and this I call bottom left. Bottom left. Yes, bottom left. And then I bring this video to the bottom left position. So what can I do here? Here I have lots of settings. Where is the anchor point of the video? I change it to bottom left. And then I'm able to reduce the size just by yeah, pulling the wheel. And now it's at this size, and this makes this effect. So here we have the full screen, and when I press the button under it, can you see this? It animates, it brings a transition from huge to tiny. Yes. Now I will switch on the game video, and as you can see, I can move the picture just by clicking two buttons. I want to get rid of the green background, so I need a green screen filter for my camera. And if you use it once on every used variant, the green is gone. So what do we do? Here is my video. Here's my video, and when I do a mouse over, I get this FX button. When I click it, I get lots of filters, and there are two chroma keying filters. When you use a webcam, then please use chroma keying basic and you're ready to go. If you use a professional camera, please use chroma keying pro. You have more options to get better results. Click it, and with the settings wheel, I get this. First of all, I have to use the skimmer and bring it directly into the green, most green area. Let's call it like this. Afterwards, I have to do the cut off setup. So what should be cut out of the image? The more blue the areas will be, the more transparent will the section. So, okay, and as you can see here at my image, it works fine. So then the next is the so-called feather check, and the feather check is to reduce the feather around the head. As you can see, here is lots of green that is too gray to be filtered, and with the help of the feather jack we can get rid a bit of it. Yes, the better your green screen is, the better this works. My green screen, by the way, is just a towel which is nailed on the wall, a green towel. And for this the result is fabulous. Yeah, as you can see, the result is fabulous. So what is the next? The next is the so-called spill check. This spill is all the green that is additional in your face because of the light in the room is reflected by several things like a cupboard or a bookshelf or what else. Yes, and so the green is reflected into your face and also here, as you can see. And I want to just because my hair is dark, I want to use as replacement a black color for the green segment. And here I'm able to show or to influence the amount of the filtered areas. But as you can see, my t-shirt is yellow, so I'm not allowed to bring it further into the yellow area than this. And here is the intensity, so more transparent for the parts here around the head. And as you can see, here is a tiny line, and this I hope you can see it. Yes, here is a tiny line, and this is caused by my camera. The Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K, yes, the first line of the pixels is white when you use 50 frames or 60 frames per second. So we want to get rid of that line. We can do this also here at the filter. Yes, at the green screen filter, because here is a quick mask, and from the top I just cut out 0.01. I have to use a comma because I use an European version, Middle European version of macOS. Okay, so now this line is gone. Yes, it's away. Yes, this was the goal. So yes, now we have all that we need to have a cool game stream. No, there is much more we can do. You can reduce the game audio to a value that is perfect for your stream. Yes. Okay. So I start the game video again. Yes, and here is the game video. Sure. Currently, it's like a standard stream. You can do it also with OBS. It's easy to do. But what can you else do that you cannot do with OBS? Yeah, something like this. This is the first thing. Yes. Okay. But there is much more. I pause the game. What is the most important thing, yes, for yourself? You have to hear all the game audio. Here at the output destination, you can add a new output for audio. I'll do this here, audio, output. And now I have a new output destination. There is a so-called program mix, and it's directed to my built-in output. Here I can say what channels I want to hear, the left and the right channel, or just the left or just the right channel. If so, just choose here the same channel as here or vice versa. But when I activate this, I can hear myself too. And this is something I don't want, because it's very disturbing when you hear yourself. So let's create a new audio mix which is just valid for this output device. It's easy. First of all, I rename this output for for myself. Then I choose this bar here, the audio which I want to be able to hear. And I say create a new audio mix. Yes, and now I have a new audio mix here. These are all the audio tracks. Please keep in mind that these two are muted by hand. Yes, but this is something nobody wants to hear, so we can mute it here. And this is my audio, and I don't want to hear my audio, so I press this button just to stop hearing myself. And now it's not so disturbing, so you're able to talk with the audience, but you don't have to hear yourself all the time. And finally, I rename the audio mix 3 so that I'm able to see for what it should be. Rename, and I call it mix for you. When you press the key button, it should enlarge the image of yourself and make the, how should I say, the game tinier. Here we have two variants of myself, and here we have just one variant. And for this, we add another one for the game. Let's say top right. Okay, so as you can see, it's still full screen. Yes, and now I want to bring it to the top right. Here at the settings, I can say not bottom right, top right. And now when I enlarge this or make it tinier, it it shrinks. And I want to bring it somewhere here or here. And then let's see the result. So Yeah. And now we want to have it simultaneously. The layer sets will come into the play. So with the layer sets we can activate and deactivate lots of layers simultaneously. Let's add a new layer set. Let's call it FS for full screen. You can rename it however you want. Then I press the settings button, and here I can say, okay, video should, for myself, should be in full screen, and then game should be also in full screen, and audio, this I don't want to have. Okay, this is just my temporary view to show everything, and the audio should be on, and the switch audio should also be on. So when we press the button, everything gets into the place. Papa. By the way, we could do a set which is called screen recording, so we can switch to this status. I name it screen rec. Hopla. Okay, so I can switch between these two views. But now let's continue with our stream. So the full screen is working. Wherever myself is, it will be placed into the center, full screen, and the game is in the background. The next is I want to have the game audio on, I want to have my audio on, and I want to have myself here where I am currently, and I want to have the game in full screen. Let's add it. So TinyYo, huge game. Okay, so TinyYo game full screen, then the temp view should be off, and both of the audios should be on. Okay, so this is the result, and I switch between the first one and the second one, and this is the result. Yes. The next version should be Tiny myself and top right game. So this was the top right game. So let's make it a bit bigger. Okay. So I add one and say TinyYo game right. It's placed right, so I call it like this. You can call it however you want. So what do we set up here? So myself is at the bottom left position. Game should be live and top right. Then the temp view we don't need, so I use off. But the audio for the game and also the audio for myself should be on. This and that. Okay? The difference between off and force off is when you use off, a transition would be done, and with force off, the transition is skipped and it's like a cut. Let's bring in a new source, and I'll show you why. I just search it. Here it is, text. I bring it inside, and as you can see, a new source where I can place a text, and I can also choose some gradients. I want to use this as a simple background, and yes, I know there is also a background layer here, but a source is more flexible because you can use it in other layers, and when you have transitions you can also use it for transitions. And here I can choose the kind of the gradient or just simple constant color, but I want to have the gradient from top to bottom, and I choose two colors. So I take a blue color and another blue color. Yes. Okay, so, and now I just simply duplicate my layer here and I rename it to foreground. I bring this to that and this to that. And yes, it's on top. So it fills the screen and I can use it later as a stinger transition, for example. So here we have the full screen. Yes, here we have the full screen. And now I want to place this on the left side and also then on the right side. So I can do a stinger transition. Out, left. I need this in full screen. So let's bring it into full screen. Then I have to change the anchor point so I can bring it left or outside of the image. So okay, now it's outside. And when I click this, you can see the movement between the image. And then I want to have a right out point. I just duplicate this. Out, right. You can also do a top or bottom out point, wherever you want to animate this. Yeah. So let's take this and bring it on the other side. I need to change the anchor point that I can bring it outside. So okay, so let's see the result. Amazing, isn't it? Okay, so yes. Okay, so this is the basic. The basic is the stinger from here to there. And what do we else need? A graphic or a text which appears directly on the stinger. And here at this text, unofficial mimoLive tutorials. Yes, okay, so this is my text. I just redesign it a bit. I use white as a color. And finally also Futura as a font. And now I drop out the background. I use none. Here is text on a transparent surface. So I just bring it in the centered position. Yes. And this text I'm also able to animate with the help of a PIP layer. Huh? Okay, so let's do a duplicate of our foreground. Let's name it foreground text. And now let's drag and drop this into that. To have the basics for our stinger. Yes, here we have the text. But this is not what we want. We want to have this full screen more huge. We make the right out and the left out tinier. Let's use 500 pixels or something like this for the layer. Yes, do you see this? And the same value, 499, I use for the top left. Okay, so let's see the result, okay, out point, in point, out point. Yes, it's simple, but you can do everything more complex. When you understand these layers better, when you understand all of this better, you can unfold all your creativity. But now we need the stinger left position, the stinger middle position, and the stinger right position in the layer sets. Let's open a new layer set, stinger out. Yes. This should affect everything except the stinger parts. Okay. So foreground text, you can also play an audio file simultaneously. Yes, to get a better effect. Foreground text should be out left. Out left. Then the foreground should be out left. Then this should not be affected, so no action. The game shouldn't be affected, no action. The temporary view that I can do the screen recording for you should not be affected. Also not the audio and also not the game audio. And by clicking this, everything gets in place. Okay, so now we need the middle position. I just duplicate layer set, stinger full screen. This is the middle point of the animation. So what do we change? We change here face full screen, full screen. Now we have this movement. Yes. And now we need the right out. Okay, so duplicate stinger out, right. Maybe I should place here also left, so I am able to see better what to do. So this is wrong. Why is it? Because I've forgotten to change the values from full screen to right. Okay, so now we can move it from here to there to anywhere. We add an automation layer. Bring it at the very bottom. So how can we do this? I open just an external editor that you can see it much better. I cannot enlarge this window here while typing, so I'll write here. First of all, we need the so-called API endpoint of the layer set that we want to start. This is very easy because our first one is the off. So where is it? Stinger off. Here it is. So we click here right, and then we click on copy layer sets API endpoint to clipboard. When I press command V, now I get this here, and this is the API endpoint. What do we do with this here? Let's have a look into the preview of this automation layer. When we want to recall a layer set, then we have to use this command, layer set recall, and then we need the API layer set ID. So first we need the line layer set recall, and then we need these brackets, and then we need this after layer minus sets. I have to bring it more inside of okay, here. This is our endpoint. I just cut it out and bring it into these brackets. Okay, so Afterwards, what do we want? We want to switch it on the left side. So again, what is the API endpoint of the left? It's stinger out left. This is it, yes. And here we want to copy and paste the layer set API endpoint to the clipboard. I bring it again inside of this. The second one. Okay. Now I want to have the imagery there for, let's say, 2 seconds. Yes, I can do this with the command sleep 2. This lets mimoLive wait for 2 seconds. Just in case, let's sleep here also just 2 seconds. Ah, yes. Yes, yes. Okay, please don't forget to sleep at the right time. This is very important. Now I want to have a second variant, which simply is called done, which means there is no other script running. When you use a web control with all the scripts you have, it's very important to have any information about what is running or what is not running. Is anything running at the moment? So, but here, this is the done. I just push everything out of this variant and just write a comment done. Okay, and here I bring in the start of that layer after the animation. Yeah? So I copy the variant API endpoint and with layer on API layers, I make enlarge it with layer on API layer ID. I can turn it on. And please make sure that you have the long one here, or everything from after slash layer slash should be kept in this line. Okay. So what happens? I bring it inside of the script. I just replace this here. And when I start this, after doing everything, it jumps to done. We have some buttons to do fancy things. Yes, but what is missing? The comments are missing, isn't it? First of all, you can simply bring it on top for Facebook, for YouTube, and some other. And you have several layouts. Yes, you can use this, for example. When the comment gets out of the window, it will be faded out. Yeah, you can do several settings. You can play around with it. So, and these comments are placed on top currently, but I can bring these comments behind of myself. They are vanishing behind of myself, but I'm not able to place it dynamically. So what should I do? These comments are there, and yes, what if I want to change the layout, or what if I want to change the place of the comments? That's very easy. I bring it at the very bottom in the background. Now I place a so-called siphon layer, siphon video sender, and I bring it on top of this. I switch it on Yes, I switch it on. And then I add a new source, which is called siphon receiver. And here I set my comments. The cool thing is that now I'm able to add a layer like this to resize and bring the comments wherever I want on screen, and I can switch it together with the already done sets. So in full screen I want to have the comments on top. So let's see, what do we have here? Yes, this is the nice thing, we have called it FS. So in full screen I define the comments for full screen. For the screen recording I turn the comments off. So for the Me Tiny and Game Huge, I use the tiny top position here. I use the tiny comments. And for the game on the right position, I use the huge bottom view. So full screen for bottom, yes. Okay, so what does it change? I'll show you something. So you can say hello and welcome to the very next episode of the unofficial Nintendo Switch Super Mario Brothers 2 easy competition. Let's fire it up, whatever, and then this could be the next position, yeah. And also this. So the game is a bit tinier, so when we want to have the game screen at the background a bit more in the middle, then we simply change this. I'll show you how. Here we have the game screen at the game video, and so we can move it just a bit farther from the right border to have a nicer look. Okay, so blah 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 blah. Someone could write ha 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 into the comments and could send it. Oh, what is this? Uh-huh. Here we have another document. It's more complex. When I press here, the signet is vanishing. Do you see it? When I press here, the title comes. No skip inspired by DGR. Okay, can you see this? Then we can bring the title in and out. Yes. Then we can do a lower third effect. Yes, a lower third effect to bring the signet from any position into any position. Yes, do you see this? Okay. Then what else do we have? The same but without the title at the bottom. Then a zoom in from my camera. And a zoom out. Do you see this? There is a zoom out. The background isn't real. Then we have an off, which turns it simply off. And then there is, yes, also the bring in of the game, for example. Please imagine this is the Switch. So I can bring it in and out. and in and out. So there are several possibilities to make your stream happen. So if you have any questions to any functionality of mimoLive, please leave it in the comments. So thanks so much for watching, and yes, have a nice day. Bye.